This is a very unique Shabbat because this is the Shabbat that let me get that out of there. Although it's not Shabbat yet, I don't want to impinge on the pre-Shabbat spirit. We are finishing the second book of the Torah. We would be finishing reading the second book of the Torah, Shemot, Exodus, in the morning. We'd all stand up and say, Chazak, 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 let's strengthen each other. More about that later. But as we finish the book, we come to a very strange ending of the book. And let me just read the beginning for the passage that I'm interested in from this week's parsha. It's the very end of the book of Exodus, the very end of this week's reading. So we read that when Moshe had finished all the work, the cloud covered the tent of meeting. They had constructed the tabernacle. Everything was in place, and the cloud came down and covered the tent of meeting, and the presence of God filled the tabernacle. So we have this presence of God manifest in the symbol of a cloud that comes down, because the cloud had settled upon it, and the presence of God filled the tabernacle. But when the cloud lifted from the tabernacle, uvalot ha'anan me'al hamishkan, the Israelites would set out. So the tabernacle would be in its place. The Israelites would set out on their various journeys. But if the cloud, and now I'm reading again, did not lift, they would not set out until such time as it did lift. Okay? And then we have the very last pasuk, the very last verse of the Torah. At this point, we will be standing up in the cloud by night, in the view of all of the house of Israel throughout all their journeys. Okay? Le'enei kol b'nei Yisrael, or Beit Yisrael, live, and at the. In other words, if the cloud is obscuring anything, how could they see anything? When the cloud lifts, then they see. There is a problem. Rashi, of course, the great medieval exegete, comments on this. In every journey, then there would be no cloud; it would lift. And if they were encamped, if they were not moving, journeying as it were, then the cloud would come down. So how could they see the cloud while they were moving in their journeys? Taking this very literally, Rashi says, in every journey they made, the cloud covered the place where they encamped. For resting places, and also elsewhere as well in the Torah, we have masot, we have journeys called these, which were actually resting places. In other words, Rashi is saying that Jew says it quite explicitly. Also, when it appears that the children of Israel are sitting still, sometimes quiet and calm, can one place, and it appears as, quiet and calm, can one place and appear in one place, and it appears as if they are encamped, even the place of their resting is called a journey. So that we understand, somebody says, are you on a journey? You're going to say, yes. Because even though you're sitting, it's understood that overall, you're trying to get from point A, Halifax, to point B, Yarmouth. And whether you're stopping or moving, it's really all the same. It's all part of the same journey, as it were. Rashi is responding to a stopped. When they stopped. When they were journeying, they were trying to get from point A to point B. When they were stopped, they were taking care of all food, they were cooking, whatever they were doing, it was all the important stuff. The journey was just to get to the next place where we can stop. It's like when kids say, Mom, are we there yet? Are we there yet means our journey is coming to a close, or this is the reason, more precisely, for the journey. Doing it this way because something is out there that is a cloud, but not a beneficent cloud, as in the cloud of God's presence, the Shekhinah, but rather the cloud of disease. Cloud that is forcing us to go into our homes, sequester ourselves, be interacting like this, not face-to-face over technology. And that's a very scary thing. And challenges like this always face us, whether it's the challenge of COVID-19, or whether it's the challenge of the exodus from Egypt, or the challenges of our daily lives. Change is inherently challenging, and God knows where the changes that we are experiencing now, where this will all end. in terms of our health, in terms of the economy, in terms of the way we go about our lives, in terms of all the things that are so topsy-turvy right now. The current COVID-19 in our homes is a given. The scary part is that we don't really know how our lives will change in the future, when it will stop, when things will start to move from the past into the future. Our neighbors as well, all together, whether we be medical professionals or civic leaders, or religious leaders, or just regular people, we will get through this together. And sing some words of Torah on this Erev Shabbat that we say, if we were in shul tomorrow, we would hear the words rising together at the end of the Torah, Chazak, Chazak, VaYaqhel-Pekudei. May we be strong, and strengthen each other, because strength comes from community. Right now, that could be a Shabbat Shalom.